Let's go.
Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell. That way, you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Eric July and the Rippaverse once again. So, it was announced on Twitter by Eric July that the Yaira #1 comic book campaign will actually be having a surprise announcement towards the end of it. And then, as you guys already know, the Yaira #1 comic book campaign should start fulfillment very soon, as Eric July said. I can't wait to get that comic book in my hands and read it and review it. And the Yaira #1 comic book review, whenever I do end up finishing it, will be on my Master Swag King comics and manga channel, which you can subscribe to with the link in the description box below. Then it was announced that Rippaverse will be partnering up with Mcfarlane Toys for a Yaira statue that you can pre-order now. And then after this came out, you had the usual Eric July detractors coming out of the woodwork and just basically just cope and seethe in ways that I have never even seen before. People just imagining all this stuff and projecting all of this bullshit out there, all because a guy simply just made a comic book company with his own money and is just doing his own thing. But I hear that angers people if you're successful at your business endeavors. So I didn't get a chance to watch the video that I have for you guys right here. I'm going to watch it right now in front of you guys. And then we're going to go over some of the detractor posts compiled by Rippaverse Gold Post. So shout outs to them. And then also Doug Ernest, also ended up showing some love for Eric July as well on Twitter. He's the creator of the Soul Finder series via Iconic Comics. And for Iconic Comics, I ended up getting Common America. I got the Omnibus bundle. That white girl or Asian white girl as the flagship character of that series got some big old fat titties, and I was like, hey, you guys know black guys love their white women with big fat titties. So I was like, hey, you just gotta just take my money. And then you had good old Vonster, good old ball licker. All he does is just suck off other dudes that don't like Eric July for clout, hoping that these weird Eric July haters will just go and support his comic book campaign. Which is crazy, because I talked to Vonster on a one-on-one for the Iron Man podcast a while ago. He didn't seem like a bad dude at all. Seemed like a pretty level-headed human being. But just ever since Eric July just started having a lot more success and a lot more, fun creating his comic book universe and filling it out with books that people, can like and not like. That is up to you to decide if you like his comics, actually. I think they're okay. They're not the best yet, but they can also improve in the future. Vonster just every day goes off about Eric, because this is the only way any of his tweets get traction, is if he goes off on Eric July. But I will come back to Vonster later, because, he can go and suck off the other guys that he does for clout, because no one's going to care about his comic book anyway. No one even reads that shit, actually. All right, so let's go over this video. Which is interesting. When Eric July's comic book company launched in 2022, and made that big splash, as they said in the video, people just didn't really talk about it. I mean, there was a few outlets that did, but the mainstream comic industry was just trying to ignore this, which is crazy, actually. Hoping we get more of the animated shorts, actually, which you could eventually get by becoming a member on the website. Yaira statue. Hell yeah. Huh, looks really good. For the quality that they're paying for, that looks really good, actually. Yeah, shoutouts to Tom Mcfarlane. He's single-handedly doing great in the comic book industry right now with his page puncher and his comic book store toy lines, actually. Man, wow. Look at that. Damn. I'm just asking you guys a question. Do you guys think she likes doggy style or reverse cowgirl? Because hey, I'm just imagining a world where she like one night, I summon her at a bar just chilling, and then they go home together, and then she's like sucking the soul out of Isam's dick, like it's BBC, because we know he got 9 inches, 10 inches erected, and he would love to slide that in her tight pink alien pussy. Yeah, because Eric has talked about this too. That a lot of the fans were asking for like action figures surrounding the Rippaverse, but a lot of people don't actually understand this, and this is not a shot at them either. This costs a lot of money. Most of the toy manufacturing is obviously out of China, and I'm not going to get into that because, well, most of you guys already know that stuff in general. But just keep in mind, doing this is very, very expensive. Actually, even like EVS, who talked about this, said he had spent $250,000 just to get like the Cyber Frog, action figures done. And to see that guy kind of been spurging out about this has been really weird because he knows how much money it would cost to do these because he's been, going off the rails for a while now at this point. So there's a few things to clear up. So various people were saying that this was not a partnership. So, okay, let me just stop that narrative right there. First of all, McFarlane Toys partners up with a bunch of big box retailers, Do you know how you get your product into someone's business to sell it? Well, you have to partner up, write out an agreement, and agree to whatever sales come up based around whatever deal you write up. I saw people saying, well, this is not an official partnership. It's like, yes, it is. Because if it wasn't an official partnership, why would he do it? That doesn't make any sense logically, if you think about that. Tom McFarlane is a very smart guy, and a guy who's clearly been doing very well comic-wise, with his Page Puncher line, the other Transformers YuGiOh lines, as well as his own Spawn stuff still sells very well. Why would he partner up with Rippaverse if there was a chance that he knew he wouldn't be making a good amount of money doing it? Maybe he said, hey, I can do this if you raise a certain amount of money because he has connections in the industry. So he probably said, hey, I can do this for a little piece of change. Eric was like, all right, we can do that, So then you had other people mentioning, well, Eric actually said that we were going to be getting a statue if the campaign hit like 2 million or something like that. It was a stretch goal. Okay, so here is where people have been going fucking insane with that take, and it just makes no sense. All right, so just because we got a Yaira statue from this does not mean that we weren't going to get the other one, right? You could just flip that vice versa. He said we were going to be getting a statue if the campaign hit whatever stretch goal, but he never said we weren't going to get other things. People just made that up in their head and they just kind of ran with it. That's how you can tell detractors are some of the dumbest people on this planet. That's like me saying, oh, I would love to have a kid someday, and then I end up having more than one. But then someone would say, but you never said you'd have more than one. It's like, I never said that. You just thought that was going to be a thing, and that never happened. People are just beyond fucking stupid, right? So then obviously, you can go and pre-order the Yaira statue right here. This is just an insane amount of money. I don't buy this stuff, actually. I'm not really like a huge figure guy. Even when Eric had like the art book, that's just not my thing. But if that's your thing, that's fine. More power to you. If you have the money for this and you want to spend the money, go ahead and do that. Definitely support this. Just not my thing. Just not really something I'm that interested about. And it's already raised a good amount of money as we've seen so far, which is good, actually. And if you want to go support, please go and do so. But yeah, some of the detractors out there running with stupid things are just, oh, so stupid. All right, so Rippaverse goalpost. Detractors react to the announcement of Rippaverse and Mcfarlane toy collaboration on Yaira statues. So let's go through, starting with this one. What moron would pay $500 for a statue of a character that no one knows about? Briefly made an appearance in shitty ISOM that can be found for $2 in bargain bins. Has a comic book coming out that no one has read yet. Rippatards are truly fucking stupid. All right, so let's just go through how dumb Mr. Edwin is actually. First of all, okay, how about I explain it for someone this dumb to understand it? Okay, let me be nice here, because I'm reformed. I'm a nice guy, actually. You can believe me. Black people never lie, actually. People pay around $700 for certain types of statues of characters they do know about. Okay, so if these fans, the Rippaverse fans, want to spend $500 for a Yaira statue that they've been asking for, they're just gonna do it. Also, if you're too broke to spend the money, no one's forcing you to. Like that's stupid. Like, what moron would pay $500 for a statue of a character? A lot of people would. Just because you're broke and you live with your mom and she pays your cell phone bill and you eat her ass out to not have to pay rent does not mean that other people are also in your situation and are also broke as well. ISOM is not in bargain bins. From what I've seen, I can't. I would make like rationalizations out of crazy people, so I'm not gonna try that because I'm not insane myself. And Rippatards are truly fucking stupid. Well, that's kind of probably what your mom told you when you were born. So she probably lost out on having a good kid. Actually, she's probably like, "Damn, I gave birth to that person. Fuck, crazy." Next one. Okay, so I blocked this guy a long time ago. He was just saying some of the most dumbest shit ever, and then like I tried to explain it to him, he just wasn't having any of it. He's the person where like he'll criticize other content creators, and I just told him, hey, if you think they're doing as bad as the job as you say they are, how about you make your own channel and then you do it the way that you think it should be done and better than them? And he just started spurging out, and I was like, bro, I don't got time to deal with that shit. He says, as the economy fails, damn, a Rippaverse detractor actually saying something logical. Yeah, the economy does suck. Go figure. People live on debt, and less people can afford their own mortgage. Okay, so this is, okay, not everyone is in debt, okay? And people that can pay their own mortgage could also afford this if they really wanted to. I don't know how those have to be, like, mutually exclusive. And first of all, that's not everybody anyway. Eric decided it was the perfect time to sell $500 statues of comic book characters only 20K people know exist. All right, so $500, you dumb moron, was probably a number that was agreed upon, probably mostly from Todd McFarlane's point of view, because he knows how much these would need to sell to make this deal worthwhile. Remember, it's kind of mostly in the ballpark of Todd McFarlane here, for being completely honest here, because he's the one who's going to end up making the connection to make them exist, right? So that's a number that he probably went like, hey, you're going to have to charge $500. And Eric went, my fans can do it. Okay, so he said $20,000, right? All right, I know Edwin is beyond retarded, so let's just do a good old calculator here. All right, so let's do calculator, okay? Calculator, he said 20K, right? All right, 20K. It's not like, what's that? That's 3 zeros, right? Or that's 20K times $500. So if each 20K Rippaverse, let's say they were 20K Rippaverse fans. Let's say they were, hypothetically. All hypothetical. Damn. Yeah. That would be a good chunk of change that both of these guys would have to make. And their collaboration would be worth it if you could make this amount of money. I'm pretty sure this is well over 100K, actually. So, yeah. What thing? Erwin, you are beyond retarded, actually. And it's already made a good amount of money right now from where it's standing at. All right, next one. Professor Bungles. Oh, good lord. Generic being incompetent and lazy as usual. Huh? What's... I just couldn't imagine a world where a person that thinks a statue sells for that much is lazy and incompetent. Okay. He can go and do this himself from the factories in China. Yeah, you also need to, I don't know, have a connection with them to do that. You don't just like look this stuff up and you just make a connection, obviously. But I think he knows he would screw it up completely. This is just complete life advice for people who need to understand this, not this fucking dumb idiot, actually. If you don't know something, you yourself go out of your way as a humbled human being, because that's what people do. They humble themselves and go, hey, I don't know how to do this very well. I'm going to go seek some help. That's what any normal, average adult does that doesn't have an ego the size of your Jupiter or Uranus or Saturn, actually, because those are big planets, actually, right? Anybody that doesn't know anything should just go and ask for help. I don't even know how he thinks that's an own. My God, holy motherfuck. Better to have Mcfarlane produce them. Yeah. All right. All right. I think I just had a mini stroke right there. At a high cost, then charge a ridiculous amount to Rippaverse who will gulp it up. Okay. Jeez, holy mother of God. I don't know how Renowned 00 does this. Holy shit, this guy is fucking stupid. All right, so people spend their money on a lot of crazy shit, you know? Actually, it's crazy. People spend, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on golf pucks, actually. Golf clubs, you know? I don't know. Why are we policing how people choose to spend their money? I've honestly always stood by this my entire life, even when I had a job. Or I still have a job, obviously. Or should I say, when I got a job. I should say that. People should be allowed to spend their money however they want to. People work hard for their money, and it's very, very hard having some of these jobs. Spend your money however you like it. You deserve it. You earned it. Do not let people like this fuck tell you otherwise, or try to, say and doubt how you make your purchases, right? And this one right here, it's better to have Mcfarlane produce them. Why would it? Yeah, it's better to have the master at his craft do his job. Of course, I'm a partner with the master of his craft. Of course, if there's someone good at something, I'm going to learn from them. All right. Complete cope from this guy. I'm not even. Well, El Hombre Nuclear? That sounds like a fucking Mexican dude who wears white wife beaters, living in El Salvador, getting his ass eaten by El Chapo. To me, this is a stain on the Mcfarlane Toys brand. I guarantee you don't buy any of them. And I'm pretty sure Tom McFarlane doesn't care. He's done stuff for self-publishers, but he should not be mixing up with IPs that are generic and tied to bad products and made by someone who doesn't have comics in their blood. All this just sounds like just dumb hyperbole. This is all stupid. If you look at all of DC and Marvel, I mean, a lot of people would kind of consider most superheroes from those brands to be pretty generic, actually, when you kind of really strip them down. I don't get how this is a stain on McFarlane Toys. They themselves are currently right now bailing out Hasbro because Hasbro has been making bad decisions with other major companies and their toys haven't been selling. I think Todd McFarlane knows what he's doing, actually, and not listening to El Hombre Nuclear, who wears a wife beater, getting his ass eaten out by El Nino. Yeah, good Lord. Hopefully I never have to read comments like that ever again in my life. Those were headache-inducing. Doug Ernest, shouts to him. He said, some dude said I should buy the Yaira statue if I thought Eric July's collaboration with McFarlane Toys was such a win for him. So I did. If you enjoy Mr. July's comics and the universe he's building, then be on the lookout because I'll offer this as a Doug prize once it arrives. And as I said earlier, you can learn from anyone. Or sorry, everyone. That's true. I agree with that. You can learn essentially from everyone. Be humble and always look for ways to improve, whether you like someone or not. Oh, do not tell detractors that. You can still learn from them. It's unfortunate when people who are blinded by hatred and envy of Eric don't understand this, but that's on them. Yeah, and then they'll just keep on coping and seething and failing. Eric said, dude, you know you didn't have to do that. I appreciate the hell out of you. Doug says, there are days when these guys who keep trying to put a negative spin on everything you do really annoy me. I figured I'd try and turn their negative into a positive. I definitely want to learn from everyone. And you're offering plenty of lessons on multiple fronts. Creators should be humble enough to admit when they can learn from another man. So true. Well put by a guy who is super successful in the indie comics space. Yeah, he's got that. Man, that's so factual, man. Every single thing Eric tweets, everything. He could tweet, man, I have the fucking cure for world hunger, and someone would still try to spin that as a fucking negative. All right, so then we're going to get to Ball Liquor. This is Vonster, aka Ball Licker, sucks off dudes for clout, gets on his knees every single day. Probably got on his knees for his dad when he was out of high school to pay rent because he's fucking broke as hell. So basically, this guy said, "Oh, good lord, I have to read this whole spiel. I'm not gonna go to that retweet. I'm not reading that. I'm not getting AIDS from this shit." He says, they had the Mcfarlane statue planned from the start. They never planned 2 statues. This is why I dropped Rippaverse. No, you haven't. You talk about it every day. You're actually just a fucking liar. The brazen lies customers is unethical, especially to me as a creator who wants to cultivate trust with my audience, all to save face over a silly funding goal. All right, Vaughn, since you're beyond retarded, he never said we weren't going to get more statues. He said at this stretch goal, we are going to get this, we'll get a statue or whatever, right? He said at this stretch goal. He never said we're going to get not more statues. That never happened. You just made that up and then just ran with a lie you made up in your own head. That also isn't true. Cinematic XP, shouts to him, says, sounds like you're putting your feelings as a creator ahead of being a customer. Customers don't care about your assumption. That's just facts. Business is business. As a creator, you can choose how to run your own ship. Yeah, how Eric chooses to run his own business is up to him and should be up to him. Vonster, and this is where he gets real retarded. This is when, like, the mask slips off, and then basically, since Eric is more successful than Ball Licker, he completely just goes off on a coping, seething tweet right here. Hear this. This isn't about feelings, yet you clearly made this entire thread about being in your emotions because you're a fucking little bitch. This is about business, and while we all run our business differently, you yourself were just trying to criticize him for how he runs his business. Acknowledging you yourself run your own business differently, you absolute worthless cockroach. There's an ethical way to do it. You sound that, yeah. Okay. From that statement point of view, yeah, there's ethical ways of doing a lot of things, and the Rippaverse has not gotten in trouble for anything, so I'm pretty sure they've been pretty ethical along the way. There's an ethical way to do it, where you don't lie to customers. Very basic stuff. Oh, God, buddy, you are so beyond stupid. I hate to see you in the real world. You'd probably fucking fizzle out and just go back and hide in your basement where you where you give your daddy a blowjob to pay your rent because you don't have any money for yourself. First of all, no lies have happened. You made all this up. Eric said, at the benchmark for the campaign, we would get a statue at one of the comic book benchmarks, right? That doesn't mean we wouldn't get another statue. He just said we would get a statue if it would hit this. You just made that up. YuGiOh adjacent, shouts to him. Dude, you're in a group where people hold the customer's money for 3 to 4 years, and when you ask for a refund, you only get it when you embarrass them. We'll call that out unethical practice? You bum. Laughing my ass off. He won't. I promise you, dude, he won't. JX, PX, you need to call out Ethan for holding onto millions of dollars for 3 to 4 years with no communication or accountability. Yeah. And then obviously YuGiOh and JXP go off on him. Obviously he doesn't reply because anyone that replies to him with any facts, he doesn't respond back at all. Cinematic XP says, you can't throw assumptions as facts. Customers don't care, nor do they view it the way you do. A company was able to provide something they wanted and promise another statue at 2 mil. Eric would follow through with that. No, Siri, shouts to her, or him, don't want to assume. No, this is about your feelings, your claims that are no 2 statues are all based on your biases. You have no evidence that there isn't another statue in the planning. In fact, if you followed Eric, you would notice that he's been hinting on multiple incoming statues. Vaughn is just another comic skate henchman and a ball licker. Pay him no mind. This guy says, you disappear for 2 years because your book was late. Go F yourself, you unethical fraud. Moral grandstanding from you is absolutely rich. He says, what are you talking about? Insane in the membrane. L post, Monster MD was, oh my god, this guy's fucking stupid. All right, so as you guys saw, Monster got completely destroyed. This thing in his head where he's like, he lied to customers and I dropped the Rippaverse. First of all, you didn't drop the Rippaverse. You talk about it every day because you're a loser who has no money and your comic book art looked good when I looked at it, but, you know, backing it, and I think I'll pass on that. I'll pass on supporting unethical pieces of shit like that guy. And shout out to Doug Ernest dropping that wisdom. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought, eventually I'd do a Renown 00 style video of going over like Eric July detractors. I don't know how he does it every day. That almost straight up gave me AIDS from reading all those comments. So shout out to him. He did give me inspiration to do these kind of videos sometimes. He's on vacation right now, so hopefully he has a great time. But make sure you go pre-order the Yaira statue from Rippaverse.com, the partnership for Mcfarlane Toys with them, actually. And hey, maybe, just maybe, I'll get that Rippaverse book where Yaira and Isam are in a relationship and he just pounds her one night in a hot, steamy sex. Oh my god, BBC forever. That's how we do it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with you guys. Holy shit. Imagine Isam having sex with this alien humanoid looking lady. But yes, thank you guys for checking out this video. Leave a like on this video. If you enjoyed it, comment down below and hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and I'm signing out, guys. See you guys later.